What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more J-drama score. And we're going to listen to a tune from the soundtrack to Flunk Punk Rumble, in English and Japanese, Yankee-kun to Megane-chan. This is not a show I've done a watch-along for, maybe at some point, though I do have to point out this is another one that was made, I think this one comes from 2010, which is back when this Malaysian company that does international releases of J-dramas didn't always have the best subtitling teams, or often had like inconsistent subtitles where the first couple episodes would be quite good and then suddenly it would drop off in quality to like a C plus level where you can still understand what's happening but the grammar is often broken and the phrasing is weird. In any case, this is based on a manga done by the same manga artist who did the show Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, or the manga and then the show Yamada and the Seven Witches, which I haven't done a public watch-along for, but I have talked about in a number of audio reactions to J-drama soundtracks, where I've said, like, at some point we'll watch this, at some point we'll watch that, and I do believe I've mentioned it before, but the point is, I remember seeing an interview with the manga writer for both stories, and she was saying that when she was writing Flunk Punk Rumble, or indeed Yankee-kun to Megane-chan, that she was already thinking of like crazy hijinks type stories and wanted to do a story about body swapping, which doesn't happen in this story, but does happen in Yamada and the Seven Witches. In any case, the basic premise of this show is that Daichi, I believe, is a Yankee, a delinquent, someone who's not really engaged in school and sort of, gets in trouble with the principal and authorities and is sort of a ne'er-do-well, but his class president, Adachi-chan, I forget what her, and in fact I guess it's Megane, so I guess it's like Adachi Megane-san, but she is the class president and she's really hounding him that like, hey, you gotta get into shape, you gotta, take a greater interest in school and stop messing up, stop getting in trouble, and at first he's sort of perplexed why. Like, why is she bothering me? Why can't she just let me be a delinquent? But eventually he finds out that she used to be a delinquent herself and that she's actually not like a great student by natural intelligence. It's just she's committed herself to leaving her old life behind her. When she was in junior high, like middle school, she was a delinquent, but she eventually resolved that she's not going to be that way anymore and she wants to be a good student, so she tries extra hard and now gets good grades and so on. And she doesn't want Daichi to repeat the mistakes that she made. So they then end up becoming friends, and there's obviously a bit of a romantic chemistry and so on. Now, I actually watched this J-drama so long ago that I only remember those broad strokes. I don't even really remember not only specific narrative developments over the course of the episodes, but even much of the soundtrack. So I'm actually going into this soundtrack not necessarily with no experience, but without a great recollection of when different tunes are played, which is unusual for me. Even when I've only seen a J-drama one or two times, I tend to remember certain tracks and they make me think of certain moments. In this case, it's not true, so it'll be interesting to go through this and just, reconnect to the show sonically, and as I said, maybe at some point we'll go through it in a Patreon watch-along, even if the sound or the subtitles aren't perfect. So, in any case, we're going to listen to a tune called Ludwig No. 9, which of course makes you think of Ludwig Beethoven, and perhaps specifically his quite famous and final symphony, his Ninth Symphony, which features the Ode to Joy chorus in the fourth movement, and again is sort of widely renowned as one of the greatest pieces of music, certainly in like Western music history and culture. But yes, my understanding or my vague memory of this tune is that it doesn't seem to be directly related, at least if there is some melodic theme that comes from Beethoven's Ninth, it's not immediately obvious. It has more of like this mellow acoustic guitar, walking on a Sunday, or like not a Sunday, a sunny afternoon and just kind of feeling okay and good with life and, sort of feeling calm about things. So I do wonder in the moment whether that is the essence of how it's used in the show. I don't recall, but the composer it's Nobuchika Teruyuki is the composer and arranger of the soundtrack. So this comes from the soundtrack too, and I'm not sure how I'm going to list it. I guess maybe I'll list it as Flunk Punk Rumble because that's the way that it was released here in the US, though again, it's more commonly called Yankee-kun to Megane-chan. But yes, this is from 2010. It's a soundtrack by Nobuchika Teruyuki, and the track is called Ludwig No. 9. Oh, whoops. Okay. It is. It's the Ode to Joy. My mistake. Resonant sound. So yes, I remember the overall tone and atmosphere of the piece, but not that it was indeed the melody from the Ode to Joy chorus in Beethoven's Ninth, though, again, given the title of the track, it shouldn't come as any surprise. I'm glad I at least mentioned the Ode to Joy in advance. But yes, I think it's really beautiful, and I guess you're working with a world-famous and particularly well-written melody to begin with, so the source material you're drawing from means, it's always likely to sound good. But this, again, kind of lazy, mellow acoustic guitar, it does give me at least a sense of a calm, tranquil afternoon where maybe you're walking around a campus, thinking about your life or, the trajectory of what you're doing at school, with a friend, with other people. It just feels like very calm and contemplative. So I think it's a really nice arrangement of an already great melody by Beethoven. So yeah, once again, I'm looking forward to going through not only more from the soundtrack, but perhaps at some point the actual show. In fact, I am going to do one more reaction to this soundtrack in this same batch, so I'll post that right after this, and it's a tune which has a different flavor by and large, so I'm not recalling too much of the soundtrack in advance, but the couple tracks or handful of tracks that I have some vague recollection of already demonstrate a degree of variety, so that's not entirely uncommon. A lot of J-drama soundtracks have tunes, even if the show is mostly running in a certain direction, like emotionally, there tends to be, a bit of variety, a bit of, shifting feelings, and that tends to be represented well in the tracks, and I think that is the case here for this soundtrack. So thank you again to, Nobuchika? Nobuchika? It's not a name where, some of the other composers that I have gone through in the different J-drama soundtracks, like Kimura Hideakura, for example, where it just immediately comes to my mind. But yeah, Nobuchika Teruyuki. I'll try to keep that in mind. But yes, shout out to him for a really great rendition of a classic tune. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.